So we're here at the USA Championships, a muscle contest produced show. This was a show you won and became pro at, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, that's.
And I hear it was a trip. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I actually stepped up on the steps, getting ready to go out, and there was one more step where you stand there and wait before they call you out. So they called me out, and I was just so excited, completely in my own little world. And as soon as I took that first step, I tripped all the way to the center of the stage.
And you still won the show.
And still won the show.
So it really is not about the trip but you also had wardrobe issues.
Yeah. Before coming down for prejudging, I thought it was a great idea to iron my shorts out, and I burned them. So I was like freaking out because I didn't have any shorts, a backup pair of shorts, and I got one.
We just asked you to we did a segment on YouTube asking for advice for athletes, and everyone else was giving advice about posing, being comfortable. Yours was don't burn your shorts.
Yep.
So you're on your road to Olympia. How many points do you have?
24.
All right. And what things have you been doing since your win at the Spectrum show? What show was it?
Gov Cup.
The Governor's Cup. You won, that was your first Spectrum win ever. You'd competed in how many of them?
Like 4 or 5, maybe 6.
And that show was your winning show to get you to Olympia. You're retiring this year from the Marines after 20 years?
21.
21 years?
It'll be 21.
So what things has Kim had you doing since that show, and then what is your path going forward to Olympia?
So my path going towards Olympia and what Kim and I have been doing, to be honest, we just kept doing what we were doing. He cut some things back and he told me to just take it easy. It was weird because I'm so used to like hitting the ground, hitting the pavement, running. And this time he was like, no, bro. He's like, no, buddy, you need to slow down, and we're just gonna do this slow and just let things naturally come into place. And it was a little bit of a mind play for me, but I'm getting the hang of it. This past week and a half-ish, things have settled down and it's gotten a lot better. So
excellent. You've been doing the interviews of the winners of shows for Spectrum, and now you're going to be doing them here with Muscle Contest for Mon Ethos. You've been the spokesperson for Mon Ethos for a few months now. What's that been like? Have you noticed some new fans and followers? What's that like?
Actually, I'm starting to kind of love it because at the beginning, it happened so fast that I didn't really have time to like soak it in. But after doing it my second time, I was like, wait a minute, I kind of like this. This isn't so bad at all,
Yeah.
So
this is one of the things I think as being in the spotlight. I've told a lot of people this weekend that it's a lot about entertainment as well, right? You're not just a pro athlete, you're not just a Marine, but you're an entertainer. And we've been encouraging our athletes before shows to go to media events and to go to schools and to really promote the event. How do you see being an entertainer versus an athlete up on the stage? We've seen some different things in social media this week, but as an entertainer, how can you bring people? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you the difference. This weekend, that sums it up. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff outside of the industry, like work, and it takes a strong individual to go through those things. You have to be strong-minded, strong-willed, and you have to know who you are. And because I know that, I was able to be here regardless of what I was dealing with. Flight issues, work issues, not being able to get down here as early as I wanted to be. We all know I won this show in 2013, and it seems like it set a pattern with all of the different physiques, and now a lot of the athletes are looking for a more rounder, fuller physique, and they're coming in harder. So it was that year that pattern started to open up. And so many pros and so many athletes come and tell me, hey, I was watching you when you were doing your thing, getting ready to go pro. So that means a lot to me, and I was honored by that. So being here, before being an athlete, just showing up, just showing support, is completely different from being here and being able to get to know other athletes on the level that they ask you questions because they're looking for your encouragement, your knowledge, so that they can progress in their career. And the fact that doing this, I'm actually starting to see a different side of everybody too. So, you find out things that you've never heard or never known about another person.
Sure. If you were talking to a 21-year-old college student who's thinking about becoming a bodybuilder or just getting into fitness, what would you tell them? You've done this for years with Marines. How many Marines have you coached in the gym?
A lot.
Hundreds, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds. But what would you tell that person who's thinking, I want to make fitness a part of my life? What would you tell them? What's the first steps?
Well, the first steps I would tell them that, they got to be dedicated. And when I say they have to be not only dedicated, they have to be motivated and determined. And the fitness industry, being in the fitness industry, if you want to be a top competitor or at least work your way towards that, you don't have an off time. There is no off switch where you say, oh, today I'm not going to do this, or today I'm going to take a break. Mm-hmm. Your break can be a mental break, or it can be maybe a slight physical break, but you're still never really off. There's so much that comes into play when it comes to being an athlete. And when you want to be a top athlete, you can't just take substandard results or desires or effort. You have to put out in all aspects, whether it be meal prepping, whether it be thinking about your next move, whether it be your work, whether it be training, everything comes to play and it makes you who you are. So becoming an athlete isn't just about training and working out. It's all about who you are as a person too.
What is the most difficult thing as a pro athlete or as getting to this place that you've thought in your head after all this time? In retrospect, you go back and said, geez, if I just hadn't done that over and over and over again, what would it have been? Is there any one thing that you've gone, if I'd have done this different or that different, related to on stage?
Now, I guess I can't talk about posing. We'll get into the physical aspect of being an athlete and, competing. One of the things that I could have done better is practicing my posing a little bit more instead of always waiting to the end, the tail end of my prep. However, you also have to think about yourself, because what works best for you? For me, I've always noticed that when I wait to the last minute, I'm more focused and my body is more tuned into my practice and rehearsals, and I'll remember it versus practicing 12 weeks out and then I'm getting 2 weeks out and I forget. And now it's a whole different routine and your body's different. Everything has changed. So you're going to move a little differently as well.
So you're getting ready to leave the Marines. 21 years. You've had how many people under you? Thousands, right? Thousands of people under you. The largest group at one time? Thousands, probably.
4,500?
4,500 at one time. At one time. As you're leaving the Marines, I'm going to step off stage. I want to know what you want to tell all of these people.
So, what I want to tell everybody is, I'm blessed to be where I'm at. Being a Marine was great. I loved it. And not only that, but I also love the fact that I was able to meet so many people. I never thought that going into becoming a Marine or becoming who I am today, that I would be who I am. But I knew I wanted to do something with my life. And it took all those years, becoming a man, a father, a Marine, bodybuilder, pro athlete, to realize who I am and where I'm trying to go with my life. And now I'm focusing more on my family. So even more than I was before. So I feel like the one thing that I want people to remember is that my family has always been first for me. And my second family is this industry. So anybody that's in it, you're basically family to me, and I'll do anything to help as many people as I can.